When I was in my 40s, there was a family fight going on. And during the fit of anger, I blurted out one thing to my mom. I said, "Mom, you know I'm gay, right?" Hi, I'm William. I work in the real estate industry and I've been serving the LGBTQ plus community for the past 4 years. And welcome to my home. So when I was much younger, maybe about 15 years old, back then there was no social media, there's no internet. And it was this period of time that I realized I'm very different. I was having all these strange feelings or having crushes with guys in school and not the girls. So that left me with a lot of self-doubt and wondering what's happening. Being very different and there wasn't any information out there to educate me about this thing, I felt very lonely. And I was probably, going through a lot of internal struggles, a lot of questions come into my mind. I'll ask myself things like, why am I so different? Will I be a disgrace to the family? Will I be bullied in school? And very importantly, I asked myself, will this phase pass? Will I be normal back then? Yeah. I think with most people who are gay, or LGBTQ+, this is a constant struggle that we have because hiding the identity from our family is probably the number one thing that we go for. Some of us might talk to our friends, talk to other people, but the most difficult part is probably coming up to your family. And same thing applies to me. I didn't come up to my family until much later. I was lucky in the sense that right after school and entering the university and coming out to work, I've always been able to find or work in an environment that is pretty gay friendly. I work in the media field, I work in advertising and media, and that has generally been pretty accepting towards people in my work. So I guess maybe when I was in my 40s, and it was pretty late, I would say, there was this occasion where I actually there was a family fight going on. And during the fit of anger, I blurted out one thing to my mom. I said, "Mom, you know I'm gay, right?" And during that moment, I think everybody just went, silent. After that incident, the very next day, my mom called me up and said, "Hey son, do you want to go and see a doctor? Maybe we can get the doctor to see whether they can help you with your current condition." At the moment, I was very shocked and very angry. The first reaction was, what do I need to see, right? What's wrong with me? See a doctor for what? Then she said, because I thought, you guys gay people have AIDS, this is like a illnesses. I mean, thinking back right now, I find it's funny, but I don't blame people in that generation because really, I think that's how the media has shaped us. The stereotype that, people we get, as a community is that being gay means that you have AIDS, you are a pedophile, you are, sick, and you need to get treatment. Looking back at that, I realized that, this is something that we need to, we really need to stand up for yourself and make sure that, we don't get discriminated this way. When I was younger, obviously, I always feel that, Singapore is not the right place for a gay person to live in because of the culture and the, lack of support for the LGBT community rights. I always dreamed that, one day I would find somebody and we will move away from Singapore and settle down overseas. And very coincidentally enough, back then I had a boyfriend, he's American. So we were together for about 3 years in Singapore, and towards the end, he kind of had to move back because of work. And we came up with this master plan that, maybe one day we will find a way for me to move over there as well. So during that time, I just came out from university, and through a friend of his, we managed to find a job for me in Hong Kong. So that was supposed to be the step one to get me out of Singapore so that, I could make some money, I will be able to save up some money and maybe go to the US and study. And that was something that I kind of wanted to do as well. I moved to Hong Kong, I worked for 3 years and started saving up money. We were doing this long distance for that period of time when I was in Hong Kong. And towards the end, I kind of like, when I save up enough money and, trying to make plans to move over to the US, a month before I moved to the States, he dropped the bomb on me, he broke off with me. It was a very defeating moment for me because I realized there and then that the whole investment I had, taking time off, moving out of Singapore, that whole 3 years, trying to work towards a dream, just collapsed overnight one day. So I was struggling to find myself directions for a period of time, but I decided at that point that moving to the States is no longer a meaning for me. So I picked up whatever I have, I moved back to Singapore and started to find my directions again. So I actually was working in the media industry for about 15 years. I work in media and advertising. Of course, coming to when I enter 40s, a lot of us go through this midlife crisis of thinking what's the next step for us, and the media industry has actually changed a lot. Digital has taken a lot of the publishing media away. So I think at that point of time, I realized I need to make a very drastic move. Obviously, I also during the period of time was going through house moving. I bought my first property when I was 35, and then I moved here when I was 42. So I have learned kind of mistakes along the way. Things I would have done better when I was 35 if I know earlier. So this journey of finding my own home has also lit up this passion in me on real estate. And again, having seen during this period of time, met a lot of people in the real estate, I realized how a lot of them are very successful when they're a lot younger. It lit up this idea in me that maybe I could make it big in this industry. And I could also use this moment to catch up for what I lost in those years. I'm very lucky that coming into this industry, I was given quite a lot of opportunity through a somewhat less traditional sense, of how people get clients. I have people actually approaching me. I have been referred, businesses from people who believe in me. And one of these clients actually found me from online and wrote me a text and said that he's actually looking for a real estate agent. He was looking around for somebody who is LGBT friendly and he couldn't find anybody. And somehow my name popped up online. We met up, we had a consultation, and from there, we became friends, and I gave him my honest opinion on what he should be doing. It was shortly after we made the transaction completed, and suddenly one day he sent me this link. He said, I've been featured on this interior decor website and publication. And I went to look, and then he was giving an interview, and he actually talked about how I had helped him, unlike many other agents that I had met before. It made me realize the immense satisfaction I have from helping somebody in their home journey. I mean, making money is one thing, but I also find that there's a lot more satisfaction when I was part of somebody's home search journey. I realized I was doing something very different from a lot of other people. I'm speaking to a community that has been neglected. There's severe lack of information. So I applied a lot of my own experience and own knowledge, and I started blogging. I started writing content on some publications. Very soon, my work started getting noticed. I started getting interviews from some newspaper articles. I started getting invites to attend some seminars and give talks at workshops, and even some talk shows online. So as I was doing this work for the community, right, I started realizing that there's a lot of people out there, asking me questions, going through, obstacles and challenges in their home ownership. I came up with this idea, maybe I should just, and this was during the whole COVID situation period. I started a Facebook private group because this was to create a very safe space for the community to come on board, a platform for them to actually put up their search for home. A lot of them are looking for rentals. A lot of people are maybe have questions that they don't dare to ask other people. So through this Facebook private group, it started from nothing, and right now it's about 4,500 members in just a short span of 2 years. So it has become a very active community there where people are able to look for somebody, a housemate, a flatmate, or ask questions regarding their home ownership journey. So I use that quite a lot right now to connect with people in the community. At this age of 48 right now, I think obviously, there's a lot of things for me to look back on, some success and failures in life. I would say that, my life so far has been a pretty smooth sailing one for a gay person, Even though we have a lot of struggles, I'm lucky to have family who supported me, even though I came out to them a bit later. But this is probably one of the things that I regretted. I wish I had come out a lot earlier. Aside for the little setback that I had, back then when I broke off with my ex, In fact, currently right now, I'm in a relationship for the last 17 years. Now that I have completely out as a gay person, there's really nothing stopping me because I don't have to worry about how my family, because they accepted me for who I am. So at that point, it was really a turning point because after coming out to your family and having the acceptance, nothing else really matters to me because I can now face the world because there's nobody that I worry more about than my family. So I think that's the most important thing for me at this point of time. I also want to use this experience that I have get so far right now to actually tell people out there who are a lot younger, because I meet a lot of people in their 20s, in their 30s, telling them that it's okay to be gay, it's okay to come out at your own pace. So that's what I feel that my journey so far as a person, and moving forward, what is my purpose? That's why I'm trying to apply what I do as my work and finding a way to connect to my identity and to do something to help the community.